Good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's last post ceremony. My name is Holly Pritchard, and joining us today from the Australian Army is Captain Michelle de Friskbom. We welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that love and support them. The live stream of this ceremony is made possible by the Returned and Services League of Australia and the RSL and Services Clubs Association. We welcome members who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection by visitors to the memorial and students on behalf of Ryan Catholic College, visiting from Curwen, Queensland, and students on behalf of King's College, visiting from Warrnambool, Victoria. If you are able, please stand and join in singing the national anthem.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are one and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is got by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains, then let us sing, advance Australia fair.
The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight, we will read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 103,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and on operations for more than a century. But first, we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths and floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection.
Today we remember and pay tribute to Private Hervey Alfred Langley. Hervey Langley was born on the 20th of September 1890 in Horsham, Victoria. He was one of 6 children born to Warwick Langley, a farmer, and his wife Eliza. Hervey received his education at Mackenzie Street State School and was working as a farmer when the First World War broke out in 1914. Hervey Langley enlisted in the Australian Imperial Force on the 10th of April 1916 with his older brother Robert. Hervey was assigned the number 1664 and Robert was assigned the number 1665. They were both allocated to the 38th Infantry Battalion with the rank of private and began a short period of training. They embarked together from Melbourne on the 20th of June 1916, sailing on the troop ship Runic. Hervey and Robert Langley arrived in Plymouth, England, and proceeded to camp to continue training. In November 1916, they joined their unit in France just as a bitterly cold winter began to set in. Hervey was briefly hospitalised with influenza, but returned to his unit in early December 1916. In the next months, his unit was heavily involved in raiding the German trenches. In early 1917, German forces began making a strategic withdrawal to the fortified Hindenburg Line. Their retreat was eagerly followed by Allied units who seized their opportunity to push the enemy back. The Australians were confronted by well-prepared rearguard defences and booby-trapped towns, which resulted in a series of bloody clashes. By May 1917, the 38th Battalion was in Belgium, near Ploegstaert Wood. There, on the 28th of May, the Langley brothers were involved in a raid on German trenches. They advanced on enemy lines under the cover of artillery barrage, which was largely inaccurate. Many shells fell on the advancing troops, and many casualties were sustained by friendly fire. Some of the raiding party managed to enter the enemy's trenches and took one prisoner. By the end of the raid, however, the 38th Battalion had taken some 95 casualties. Among the missing was Private Hervey Langley. Hervey Langley remained listed as missing for several weeks. It was not until June 1917 that it was determined that he had been killed in action during his unit's raid on the 28th of May. Only a few months later, the Langley family suffered another loss when Private Robert Langley died of illness in an English hospital. The tragedy of Hervey's death was multiplied as he had fathered a child before leaving for the front, a daughter named Marjorie. The state reserved his service medals in trust for her to receive when she reached adulthood. Langley's final resting place was never located. Today he is commemorated on the Australian Memorial in Villers-Bretonneux, France. Private Hervey Langley was 26 years old. His name is listed on the Roll of Honour on my right, amongst almost 62,000 Australians who died while serving in the First World War. A photograph of his headstone is displayed today beside the pool of reflection. This is but one of the many stories of sacrifice and service told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Private Hervey Alfred Langley, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and in the hope of a better world.
Please stand for the reading of the Ode and the sounding of the last post.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them. lest we forget.
We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Pozières or in the low scrub at Gallipoli, with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain, has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, that concludes the last post ceremony. On behalf of the director, staff and volunteers, thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial today. We wish you all a very pleasant evening.